मैं तो हिंदी नहीं पढ़ती था घर पर।
हिंदी का मैंने एक्सचेंज कल हिंदी का भी एग्जाम
नहीं
संडे को वो तो जीएसटी की क्लास है, बैंकिंग का एग्जाम दिखा रहा था।
मैं बैंकिंग में बेसिक दोनों है।
जीएसटी का ही
बैंकिंग इजी है, बट जीएसटी तो सेकेंड एक्सरसाइज कर चुकी है, वो भी दो सब्जेक्ट है। इसमें हो रहा था कि वो जो लिस्ट प्राइस पहले डिस्काउंट किया था एक आदमी ने, बी को सेल किया, फिर बी को सेल करने के बाद उसने वो लिस्ट प्राइस को वापस इंक्रीमेंट किया, तो उन्होंने वापस वो जो प्राइस जो एफिशिएंट का रेशियो को उसके ऊपर इंक्रीमेंट किया, तो वो सब करना पड़ता है वो। और एक वाला जो क्वेश्चन है जिसमें मैंने बोला वो 12% वाला है ना, 12% ऑफ एक्स वाला
मैंने नहीं किया, मैंने 3 साल सॉल्व किया है।
और वो जो सर ने बोला ना 12% ऑफ एक्स रॉन्ग दिया है, इसमें नहीं जो रियलाइज किया था मैं इनिशियल एमआरटी फाइंड आउट करने के बाद फिर करना है। मैं इधर क्या संस्कृत बात कर रही थी, तुम लोग कुछ समझ नहीं
ये याद नहीं करती इसलिए।
अच्छा तुम्हें मनस्वी की तरह वो भी लव्स वो ऊपर वाली जो प्राइवेट थी कोई ना है
लोग भी आए
वो जो को छोड़ है उसने इंट्रोड्यूस किया था, उसने इंट्रोड्यूस किया, मैंने इंट्रोड्यूस किया। आगे मत बैठ पाए तेरा हाइट बचा इस साइड बैठ जाएगा और हाइट की फर्स्ट में क्लास 7 से लेकर 12 215 तक का क्लास फर्स्ट में से
फर्स्ट में हां कब से
7 से लेकर 215 तक मैथ्स और केमिस्ट्री।
कैसे रहेगा
इसे बता रही बात को
कैसे है सुबह का लेक्चर चल रही है मुझे मेरा 2.5 से लेके 5:30
तो ऐसे रहेगा 1 घंटा आपका
3 घंटे का एक लेक्चर 3 घंटे का
एक लेक्चर जिसमें 15 मिनट्स जिसमें तेरे को ब्रेकफास्ट खाना है, तो अभी ब्रेकफास्ट खाना है ना उसको मैंने लेकर आपको खा लूँ और अगर मेरी माँ ने बोला कि मैं नेचर मैंने मुझे मैं तेरे को दे दिया, तो मैंने इतना टाइम नहीं है मुझे देख रहा था वरना मुझे सुबह उठकर
इस्लाम का भी क्लास रहता है।
तो एक इसमें था
कितने बजे का रहता है इस्लाम? अरे वो भी सुबह ही रखती है, मतलब मेरे सुबह ही रखती है, 10 का भी नहीं कुछ समझ में नहीं आता, दिमाग खराब हो आज मुझे आया थे ये कैसा है
ड्यूटी जा रही है आपको पता है कि ड्यूटी जा रही है जैसे भाई जब मैंने बोला कि मेरी जो फ्रेंड है मैम से अच्छा नहीं है मत जा, और उसका खुद का लड़का गया था।
किसने बोला?
मुझे तो बोला था प्राइवेट जब मेरा एक्स्ट्रा क्लास हुआ था हमारे
मैथ्स का ज्योग्राफी है या
मैथ्स हिस्ट्री सॉरी मेरा मैथ्स से चल रहा था इसके क्या हुआ जब नहीं
आज नहीं है आज है सर आए
थे हमने प्लान कर भी गए लेकिन उनका क्लास नहीं है आज सर हैप्पी हिस्ट्री का तो अच्छा है मुझे लाइक बहुत सही हो आज मिलने के लिए मिले थे ऐसा चल रहा है तुम्हारा स्टडीज।
अरे सर ने बोला था ना कि नेक्स्ट क्लास जब रहेगा तभी 1 घंटे का रहेगा।
अरे फिर टाइम टेबल वगैरह मैंने वो लिंक में भेजा था देखो यूटी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड का वो लिंक पढ़ जाओ
मेरा नंबर भेजा
नहीं ठीक जा गूगल में जा यूनिवर्सल ट्यूटोरियल्स प्राइवेट लिमिटेड में जा जो वेबसाइट है उस पे लॉग इन कर गुड इवनिंग
Normally at the in your batch. How many students? 11 or 15? The examination.
Yeah, 7 days exams are going, so they might have.
Yes.
And 7 days. And at 1 or 2 boys at the back, they always used to come. I don't know why they are not coming.
So previously also they were not coming.
No, they came, but the population, but the students will not come because their exams have not started.
The idea? Okay. Six 30, no? Whatever. Now I was confused on what books to bring as well subjects. I thought there would be the first lecture would be geography and the second lecture would be history. So I bought both the books, and now she's saying that we'll only be having history. Okay. Service handling with the 9th standard. So I'm taking history now. Shall I start? Okay. In school, how many lessons over? Now we had started with civics, World War I, and it isn't complete yet. World War I? Yes. First war of Indian independence?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. It started first. First one of independence and from civics it's Union One.
You were? I'm in art school, World War.
We are from the same.
Yes. Which school? Salvador. Salvador. You?
Koda.
Other than there were receivers, no?
Yes, ma'am. Sequence.
Okay. Anyhow, we will learn the first war of Indian independence. Do you know what is that first war of Indian independence?
Ma'am, it was a fight between the Indians wanted to take over the country because they were unhappy with the British. As they were taking their religious rights and going against them, introducing policies and taking over their kingdoms, sending kings to different places who were about to rule the country. So they were the important positions for the people and which were taken away. And they were basically ruling the country in a different way, which the Indian people did not accept. They used something in the rifles also, which was against the Muslims and the Hindus. So it was a really bad thing for them. So they told that they did not do, but they were forced to fight the British. So therefore, there was a
So your school not yet started, but you might have some idea about it. First war of Indian independence. Say, we know that India wanted to get independence. So for that, the first time the people united together and fought against. So it is called first war of Indian independence. Now, why they fought? That is what we have to see. We have learned in our earlier studies, East India Company came to India as a trading group. Have you studied it? After coming to India, they began to establish the rule. So, in 1600, East India Company was founded. They came and got permission to trade with India. Now, they established the rule. So, you imagine from 1600 onwards, by different ways,
they established the control in India. That is political control in India. So this weakened our condition. So many ways weakened our condition. So we thought about revolting against them and get freedom. That was the background for it. Now let's say that is when we study about this. Let's take about some period that is about that 100 years. What way they tried to control India and how it led to the struggle. We call this first war of Indian independence by different names. You might have heard about the Sepoy Mutiny. Heard or not? No? You did not hear. Okay. Sepoy Mutiny means military persons fought against. So it is called the Sepoy Mutiny. Okay. If you did not hear, no problem. So let's see that how they established their control. So the period from 1757 to 1857, the British used different methods of control. So let us make it together why the Indians revolted against them with a kind of this thing, reasons. That is, let's bring it together into a word, pray. Pray. What is that? Political reasons, socio-religious reasons, economic reasons, and military reasons. So that you will never forget. How many causes are there? Political, socio-religious, and the third economic and military. So, if all the reasons we are studying in this briefing into one course, then it will be easy to remember. Okay, so first period, which period? 1757 to 1857. It was the period of outright conquest. They set out to conquer and occupy. Without considering the condition, the problems of the people, they conquer and occupy. That is why it is called an outright conquest. What were the outright conquest? In 1757, which war was there? Battle of Plassey. Now, 1764,
Battle of Boxer.
Battle of Boxer. Okay, so these two are very important battles through which some territories were taken under the control. Now, afterwards also some battles were there. You might have heard about the Anglo-Mysore War. Have you heard about the Anglo-Mysore War? English and Mysore. Mysore Tipu Sultan, Hyder Ali Tipu Sultan and all. So that territories were brought under the control. Then Anglo-Maratha War.
With the Marathas.
Between any problem? Yes. If you are not getting understanding, you can ask, because within that 2 hours I have to complete this. So any problem? It's so getting over. I have taken in all the branches. This is the last. Okay. So there is no problem. So Anglo-Maratha War, in which English defeated the Marathas and occupied the Maratha territory under their control. So in this Anglo-Mysore War, the Mysore territories were taken under their control. Then Anglo-Sikh War, we know that Punjab and nearby territories were taken under their control. So this is what the period of outright war. Okay? This first part is clear. How the British, that is political reasons we are seeing. In the political reasons, this outright policy of outright war is the first one. In that war, all these wars are included. Now we are going to see policy of expansion. So which were the policy of expansion? Have you heard about the subsidiary alliance? This was a method not to make it under control, but through an agreement. Say, if you are a prince of one territory, and you are also a prince of one territory, and you are also. So British is making an agreement with but according to that agreement, what is your freedom to make alliance with other rulers are not. And you should allow to station the British army in your territory. You should allow a British officer called a regent in your territory. So indirectly, your all freedoms are gone. But you are just for namesake a ruler of that territory. That is what a subsidiary alliance. Got it?
And did the British officers also control the ruler who's ruling still as a name for say what he is doing and what the actions he is doing?
Yes, everything is controlled by them. But just that the king is having this position. Okay, I am the king of this territory. Yes. Everything is controlled. The financial control is there, revenue collection is there, and the army which is stationed have to be paid by that respective king only. So the political right, political economic right completely surrendered to that British. That is why he became a subsidiary to the British. Such alliance is called a subsidiary alliance. This was introduced by Lord Wellesley. Okay, who introduced this one? Lord Wellesley. Clear?
Yes.
For one of the policy. Now, next. Yes.
The British, did they choose specific states, like the prince who has more power and more wealth kind of thing?
See, they have used different methods. So, to certain regions, doctrine of lapse is used. To certain regions, subsidiary alliance is used. So, because if you are ready to become a subsidiary of Britain, then you are, that is, I am keeping that alliance only with you. Understood? Please, what's your disturbance? Take your bag. Disturbed for a long time. What's the problem? Nothing. Huh? Just attend. Why you know that this lesson may not be taught in your school? Taught or not? So if you are fully listening, you will be able to understand. And afterwards, the test will be there. No, you cannot give an excuse that in school it was not taught. Attend it. And if anything you are not understanding, you can ask. Yes. What is that? Your question is clear?
Yes.
Now, this doctrine of lapse is a method introduced by Lord Dalhousie. According to this method, what is that? If a king died without any real heir apparent, that territory would be annexed to the British. Understood? In the earlier case, they are becoming subsidiary only. But in this case, that territory would be added with the British territory. Got it? If a king died without any real heir apparent, means a real son, male son. Earlier times, they used to adopt the son from their family, relatives, or somebody, and brought them up. And after the death of the king, that person would succeed. But the British made it to stop and told that if you are not having the real son, you cannot they rule this territory. Because according to that, it is not going to that daughters.
Ma'am, but they have brought up those adopted sons and daughters.
Yes,
but they have also the right because they are training them, right?
British introduced this law. Afterwards, they were not allowed to. That is what the reason for the protest. Okay. So, Lord Dalhousie introduced doctrine of lapse. Accordingly, one example, one territory I will tell you, Jhansi. That is what their adopted son denied that kinship. So that Rani Lakshmi Bai's this thing story we are knowing that she herself fought in this first war of Indian independence. Okay, the Lord Dalhousie's policy is clear to you?
Yes.
Now the next method is that some areas they have taken in the pretext of misrule. See, the example is our. अभी उधर का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन प्रॉपरली नहीं हो रहे, हम बोल रहे तुम्हारा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन प्रॉपर नहीं है, इधर मिसरूल हो रहे, तो that territory is annexed to the British. Got it? Alleged misrule. It is not the correct thing. Alleged. Alleged, the meaning is that it is made to. But you are not doing properly means you are not doing. So that was made to accept. So next. Disrespect shown to Bahadur Shah Zafar. So who was this Bahadur Shah Zafar? Mughal ruler. Mughal king. He was living in the palace he made, that the Red Fort. So British told that after his death, his descendants should shift to a place near a palace near Qutub Minar. So where is Red Fort and where is Qutub Minar place? And all that rights they were enjoying were taken away. So this was a disrespect, and this Bahadur Shah belonged to that Mughal dynasty, and this Mughal kingdom ruled from 1526 onwards. Almost more than 300 years they were ruling, and to that family this disrespect was shown. That was considered as an insult to India. So the people united. Okay.
Why did British told Bahadur Shah Zafar to shift to Qutub Minar, that palace near Qutub Minar?
See, the British wanted to take over that region, Delhi.
Then how did the British convince Bahadur Shah Zafar?
Convincing part is not they are ordering. They wanted to take control. If they are the authority, say for example, in your school, your principal is saying you must do like this. You don't have any choice. That means they are the authority in India. So British forced us. Clear? Only aim is to get control over the capital city now.
Yes.
That place was not under their control at that time. It was under the control of Mughals. So they wanted to get control. So you move from here. That is what. Now, next point is that treatment is given to Nana Sahib and Rani Lakshmi Bai. Okay, who was Nana Sahib?
He was the adopted son of the king who was
Son of Bajirao II. Peshwa Bajirao II's adopted son was Nana Sahib. Yes. Pune was the headquarters. He was not allowed to go there. The pensions which that widow of Peshwa Bajirao was getting, this boy was not not allowed to get. So this all were the ill treatment towards the Nana Sahib. Rani Lakshmi Bai also like that. She was the widow of that the king of Jhansi. So she was also badly treated. Next is absentee sovereignty of British. What is absentee sovereignty? When Mughals were there, they become part and parcel of India. But when the British were there, they were ruling from Britain. So they don't have any responsibility towards the people of India. When they are part and parcel of that country, then only that responsibility will come. So this condition is termed as absentee sovereignty. Clear?
Yes.
All that political reasons are clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Afterwards, after completing, I will ask.
Yes, yes.
Yes. This up part is not complete. Okay.
Can you give us any tips to remember the names of the Lord, how to remember who invented the subsidiary?
No, introduced. Say subsidiary alliance when you are learning. Along with that subsidiary alliance, learn this. This name, doctrine of lapse, it was introduced by Lord Dalhousie. So the Lord Dalhousie, one way he was a good person. Something good also he introduced. Can you tell what was the good thing? The railways. He introduced railways. That is the first railway line from Thane to Mumbai was introduced by him. So good things were also there. But his policy was to expand the British. So doctrine of lapse will come. That is why so many persons' names I am not mentioning. It's because you just remember about so that These two methods of annexation you have to study. And along with that, the subsidiary alliance, 2-3 places are mentioned in your book. That places, Doctrine of Labs, Jhansi, Nagpur, and Udaipur. These 3 places you have to remember. That much, if you are remembering, the political reasons completely you can understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, which reason we have to study? Social and religious. Shall I rub up
Yes,
to
ma'am.
this much? Now, social causes. Can you guess what could be the social causes? Guess only, because many of you are not knowing. Then, that is one of reason. Then,
Can it be below?
that all things are also coming. So let's see that one.
And even the introduction of the rifle.
That is military causes. Social religious. The first one is interference in interference in the social customs. What is that interference in the social customs? He is not there. While writing, it is going like that. What is that? You told about widow remarriage. See, British abolished sati. Have you heard about sati?
Yes.
What is sati?
When a husband dies, the female has to sit with the husband in the fire and has to be burned. Like उसके ऊपर उसके साथ मिलकर वो
Fire. Okay, burning fire. Okay. So, what is that? But this woman is considered as devta. That means goddess type. This one is given. But you just imagine. That is when we are doing some cooking. You might have done little bit cooking, no? 1 glass of tea, a cup of tea, or like that. You might have prepared. So no, nothing. Okay. So when you are that is touching that stove, accidentally your finger might have got the pain you cannot bear. Means a finger part only. But this woman is made to burn alive in the burning fire of the husband. Forced to do. Anybody will willingly do? If you were in that position, will you do? You will kick away that person, whoever is that. No? Say, I can't do. Why should I die? So that time, these women were forced to do that. So many of the Indian reformers know that it is an inhuman practice. So the reformers wanted to abolish this. Then they cannot do by themselves, so British passed an act abolishing this. And another condition I will tell you, that time child marriages were there. Not only like that, the now also it is there. So when a child who is not knowing what is marriage, they get married. And afterwards, they become widow at a very early age. Age difference is there, not only because of that. See, I will tell you this. There is a long period of fertility, and so many children at that time. So this they cannot afford. Their body cannot. Nowadays, after marriage, that before itself, that boy and girl will plan when they will have a child. They will decide that they are prepared for that. Then only they will think about it. But at that time, that is very young age, and the parents, this compulsion was there, and they want only boy child. The girl child, if it is born, that child was killed. So many inhuman practices prevail at that time. So some of the reformers try to abolish it, and this widow should be allowed to remarry. So widow remarriage act was also passed. So there was orthodox groups who started telling that why you are interfering in our religious customs. That is what interference in the customs. Clear? These social customs were having sanctity with the religion. No? That is why I told you socio-religious. Got it? This point is clear? Now, next point is that policy of racial discrimination. What is social discrimination? Differences in society, social status. We know that our country, among the Hindus, this discrimination is there, already there. But here how it comes under the British. We know that at that time the policies they made, it created differences between that whites and the Indian origin. So there was so much social classes. So they cannot, that is sanctified by religion according to that Hinduism. We know that which are the caste, Brahmin, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. And afterwards the subcaste were there. So that is already existing in our society. At the same time, the British created that whites are at the superior in race and other all Indians are inferior to them. This kind of discrimination created differences. Okay, clear or not? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Next one is that another, the officers are rude and arrogant. They also create this Muslims as cruel people and that. So this kind of difference is created between Hindus and Muslims. That is also a reason for the racial discrimination. Next is activities of missionaries. Who are considered as missionaries? Those who
Patriots.
patriots. Patriarch. See, one's mission is to propagate the religion. That is what the missionaries. So that time Christian missionaries came with them. They introduced Christianity in India. So that attitude or that activities irritated that Hindus and Muslims of India, because they brought a new religion to the country, and in the pretext of that they are doing so many bad practices. That was the thought. Actually, it was not the real thing. They educate the people. Through that education, now one example if I am telling, in India, hardly 2% of Christians will be there. But at the same time, there is 14% and more Muslims are there. These people are getting reservation. Being the minority, they are getting the reservation. But this 2%, they are the minority, but not getting any reservations. But if you see the standard of those people, they are far, far better. They may be born in a poor family, but through education they reach to that good level of economic development. These people, being this 14%, they are still remain backward and demanding reservation. Did you get it? So, Christianization or that making into Christianity was not with a bad intention. It was to give them education and to civilize. So, through that, their economic status can be improved. But people saw it with a doubtful eye. That is why it was questioned. All of you got it? Now, next point is taxing religious places. What is the meaning of taxing religious places? Which are the religious places, holy places, temples, mosques, churches, or whatever? So, what we people are doing, we are donating, we are contributing to the holy places. But we never charge taxes. Our government never charge taxes. So through donation and the contribution of the people only, these institutions are growing. If we go to that temples, that is, it might be going, I don't know. So in the temple, that deities are there, goddesses, god, all these things are there. They are adorned with so much jewelry and all, gold. So this is what a donation given by the people. That is what attracted the Muslim conquerors to India. They attacked the temple towns and looted this. Okay. Now also there is a belief in the people. There are certain areas I have read from some newspaper and some other articles today. Some areas, some people are there, they are very lazy to work. What they used to do, daily morning, that is before the break of the sun, that is before the arrival of the sunrise, what they used to do, they used to make a temple like one structure and keep it in one place. One deity's photo used to be there and it is like a donation box. People think, oh God, temple is the mandir hai, paisa lana hai. So that day, night, that person will come and take that money. Next day, little away, means not that place, same place, it cannot be kept. Another place that person. So crores and crores of rupees that people used to make. What I want to tell is that it is a kind of blind belief among the Indian people. They give priority to or topmost priority to the religious belief. Blindly they believe. That temple, it was not a temple. It was just a box made by a person and one deity's photo is stick on it. But our blind belief, we used to
give money.
So this is what that much brightly that religion is in the minds of the. So that is why when they began to tax the religious places, people began to worry about it and protest against that. Okay, clear? You feel so cold. She only went and on because it was hot. Now, also, you want that much cold?
No, you reduce it. At least
Or fan cooler, whatever, something. No, fan. Because then I feel very much cold. Okay, this point is clear. Next is that apprehensions about modern innovations. What was that? Telegraph was invented. Telegraph, have you heard about it? Or telephone you see? Telephone is having a cable to be connected. That time landlines only, no? So that cable, the people began to spread the news that these cables are meant for hanging people. Cables are meant for hanging people. So somebody told this, people began to believe. अभी आप लोग को ऐसा विश्वास कर सकते हैं कि उसके ऊपर किसी को हैक कर सकते हैं क्या? ओके फिर फोन कर कैसे कर सकते हैं? So people began to spread the rumors that this one is for hanging people. That is what apprehensions about modern innovations or inventions. Got it?
Hanging anyone or just those who are against them?
That time people spread like that. Those who are opposing that the British, they will be hanged. Next, law of property. What is this? Especially, it meant that if a person, that the law of inheritance is property. I mean, father ka property, many of the areas go to sons. Some areas, according to that law of inheritance, it go to the daughters. That is the custom of India. So, but every family think that if the son or daughter change to other religion, they will definitely should not get the property. But according to that, during that time, the act passed that if they convert to Christianity, they can also inherit the property right.
which was against the.
So people were irritated, or they were having the apprehension that if such a condition comes, everyone would change to that Christianity, and that would lose the religion. That is what the law of property. Next one is oppression of the poor. What is that? Normally, every time poor are oppressed because more taxes are collected from the poor people. Their source of income is also low, and they have to pay more taxes. So these all are coming in the socio-religious causes. Now, next, completed. What is the third? Economic causes. Okay. other economic courses. Exploitation of economic resources. See, actually, in the earlier times, when the British came, they paid for purchasing the things from India in gold and silver. It seems funny to you because how can they pay in gold and silver? Actually, this gold and silver they got from South American continent, and these were occupied by the Europeans. So I see like it was not required to mine. So they don't know that the value of this yellow metal. So they paid in that gold and silver. That is how it came into India. India was not having, is also not having. That means at present only coal mines. That also very deep mine. So that how much we are using the gold, that when nobody in the world use. In foreign countries, if you go, they are using diamonds, but this much jewel-studded people you cannot see anywhere in the world. How Indians are using. So these all came from other countries. Now, after a certain period, they realized that why we should pay in this. So they started collecting the raw materials and they sell the finished products. With one example, if we are purchasing it for 10 rupee, they are selling the same made into finished product to 1,000. That is one example, cotton. Bales of cotton. Cotton balls are there. Huh? So this cotton balls are raw material. When it is converted into t-shirt or a shirt, its value increases. So the same thing we have to purchase at high cost. That way, India's resources were exploited by British. Clear? Exploitation of resources. Now, drain of wealth. What is drain of wealth? All the resources were taken away by them. I'll give you another example. You might have heard about a brain drain. Have you heard about this word? Yes. What is brain drain? Try. Many of you might have heard, but
using the ability, still using the ability to think or process.
That we are not using for us. We are selling it. Indian scientists are there, engineers are there, working for European countries or America. They are selling their intelligence and earning money only. Got it? See, if I am an engineer, I am appointed or I got a job in America, I am selling my intelligence for $. So this kind of selling the intelligence for money is called brain drain. Brain is the workshop of intelligence. Okay, so our intelligence is solved. Here, wealth of India is drained out. That is called a brain drain. Clear? Is there any doubt? Doubt is there? Now next one is decay of cottage industries. Handicrafts. See, cottage industry. What is cottage industry? You just try. You're sitting quietly.
Cotton industries. So industries producing cotton products.
Cotton, no, cottage. Cottages. Cottages means houses. There is no workshop, factory, and all.
Houses.
See, you might have seen papad making, pickle making. These all are not taking place in factories. But the household industry. So this earlier times everyone used to do, and they used to earn something. All the family members could do, engage in it. So now, that time the kings used to patronize it. Handicraft, you are doing so many handicraft work. The handloom textiles, all these things people used to engage. But after the coming of British, they discouraged all this and they set up the factories. So that way, the economic condition of the people were affected. But next point is that now all of you open your textbook and read this one. Here one act is also coming. That one you take. You can read that heading can be there. Page number 40. You also find page 14. This one page 6 you take. Got it? Okay, completed reading.
Yes.
How peasantry was affected?
When their means of when the peasants had their land and the land was taken away from them, and they were displeased with that, and traditional zamindars were replaced by moneylenders, and they didn't care about the peasants and their land, did not have any concern for them, and charged high prices, taxes.
Rent. Okay.
The last point I wanted to add, the second one is that the official land revenue policy that they had proposed in the peasantry, it was like not acceptable by the peasantry as they had to pay higher taxes for trade in companies, which was also led for non-payment for the peasantry, and they therefore become little. They had to face poverty, and they basically needed money for their own requirements, which was not available due to these high taxes and the policies that the British had paid or imposed in the peasantry.
Okay.
Also affected the cultivation.
Say, we have to keep in our mind that times there were large number of people who were not having their own land. They have taken the land on lease basis. And for that purpose, lease basis to be taken, they need money. Here the money lenders enter. They charge high interest. So the illiteracy is exploited. अभी तुम लोग डॉक्यूमेंट पढ़ के ही सही करेगा, उधर कुछ पढ़ने को नहीं आता है. So they were forced to sign on some documents on top impression. So any type of points were added. So finally they become very much poor. They were in debt. Okay. So this way the condition of the poor become very clear. Next point is about aristocracy. Aristocracy. Just nobles, rich people, rich peasants or like that. They were the aristocracy. What was their condition? I know that it is great.
No,
We have to, I think we have to little this thing.
and we have to press on the extreme.
That one, when it is pressing, it is not here only, no? That only I am just.
Yes.